Coming soon to own on
YouTube
video
and Twitch.
DVD.
Every forbidden curse explained in 12 minutes.
The Curse of King Midas. Let's kick things off with one of the
Now, if I remember, Midas had the gold touch.
most
If I remember
famous
right.
be careful what you wish for stories of all time.
Yeah.
Midas. Picture this. Midas was already insanely rich. Gold everywhere. Palaces, treasures, blinged out cups, you name it.
My
But
nigga was
apparently,
balling
that
though.
wasn't enough. When the god
Shit.
Dionysus offered him a reward, Midas didn't ask for peace, wisdom, or even unlimited wine, which honestly would have made more sense.
I don't know how niggas be drinking like unlimited wine. Like that shit. I understand it, but it's like, damn. You don't get tired of that shit?
No, he asked for the power to turn anything he touched into gold. At first, jackpot. Imagine picking up a rock. Boom, instant bar of gold. Shake someone's hand. Golden statue buddy. Touch your pet cat? Congratulations.
He's
You
out there
now
murking
own
niggas.
a very stiff, very shiny cat. But then came the dark twist. When he tried to eat, the bread and meat turned solid gold in his hands. His wine turned to liquid metal. The curse made survival impossible. And the real heartbreak? When his daughter ran to hug him, she froze into a lifeless golden statue. That
Damn,
was
that's
the
fucked
moment
up.
he realized his greed had literally cost him everything. In some versions, Midas begged Dionysus to take it back, and the god let him wash away the curse in the Pactolus River. That river, by the way, supposedly ran with golden sand ever after. The Curse of Midas is basically the ultimate greed backfires myth. You want endless wealth? Sure, but enjoy starving to death in your mansion surrounded by bling. It's one of those stories where the gods don't even need to punish you. The wish itself becomes the punishment.
See, me personally, I would have asked for like either for me to control how it works or like one finger turns everything to gold, not just like whatever I touch.
And it's still referenced today whenever someone's obsession with money ruins their happiness. Honestly, Midas would have been better off just asking for a free buffet. The Curse of Cassandra. Now let's
Curse
jump
of
to Troy for
Cassandra.
one of the cruelest curses ever invented. Cassandra. Imagine being able to see the future with crystal clear accuracy. You know exactly
Mm,
what's coming, and you could literally
that's already a bad idea. Because if you see what's coming, that means you can't stop what's coming. You know, what if you see something you don't like?
save lives. Wars, disasters, betrayals. Sounds like a superpower, right? Except the catch, nobody will ever believe you. That was Cassandra's curse. She was a princess of Troy, and the god Apollo was head over heels for her. He gave her the gift of prophecy as a please love me gift. But when Cassandra rejected him, Apollo couldn't take back the power, so instead, he made it useless.
Yeah, my boy went out sad with it though.
Every single prediction she made came true, but nobody would listen. She warned the Trojans not to bring the wooden horse into the city. They laughed. She screamed about the fall of Troy, about
Well, I don't know. Yeah, this is pretty logical. You know, a random big ass horse shows up at your front door. You know, logically, I wouldn't bring it in either. Well, your dumb ass brought the shit in anyways. Yeah, maybe shit gonna fall apart.
Agamemnon's murder, about her own death. People called her crazy.
Mm.
Think about how psychologically brutal that is. You're right all the time, but your voice means nothing. It's like being cursed to scream fire in a burning building while everyone keeps scrolling on their phones. In the end, Cassandra was dragged off as a slave and killed, her visions wasted. Her curse turned knowledge into
Yeah.
pure suffering. Honestly, it's worse than being wrong. At least when you're wrong, you can blame bad luck. Cassandra lived with the agony of
Wait,
being
hold on.
at least
That's a nine. Yeah, that's a nine without a doubt. You can make it a six, but that's a nine. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. This is a nine.
when you're wrong, you can blame bad luck. Cassandra lived with the agony of being right, every time, with nobody to stop the tragedy. It's a curse so cruel, it still makes people shudder thousands of years later. The
Yeah, that
Curse of the
shit
Flying
crazy.
Dutchman. From the ruins of Troy, let's set sail into stormy seas. The legend of the Flying Dutchman is basically the sailor's version of eternal damnation.
Mm.
According to maritime folklore, a Dutch sea captain tried to round the Cape of Good Hope, one of the deadliest stretches of ocean on Earth. When storms blocked his path, he didn't back down. Instead, he shouted a challenge to the heavens. "I'll sail until the end of time if I must." And the gods, or fate, or maybe the devil, took him literally. His curse?
Shit, maybe all three, nigga.
Sail forever. No land, no rest, no fresh water, no port. Just endless waves and storms. The ship itself became a ghostly phantom, crewed by cursed sailors doomed to wander the seas for eternity. Sailors feared spotting it on the horizon because it was seen as a bad omen. Basically, the
Mm,
ocean's way of saying, you're next.
that's very much possible. Or niggas were just so bad at land navigations that they were genuinely just lost in the middle of the ocean.
Even centuries later, reports came in of strange glowing ships seen in the fog, vanishing as suddenly as they appeared. The Flying Dutchman isn't just a scary sea tale, it's a warning about arrogance. The captain defied nature and mocked the powers above, so now he's stuck sailing in circles forever. Imagine the crew at year 2000 like, anyone brought snacks? Nope. Just more storm clouds and eternal boredom. It's why the legend still sticks in popular culture, because nothing's scarier than a punishment with no escape and no end. Eternal wandering, eternal regret. The Curse of Oedipus. If you think your family is complicated, just wait until you hear about Oedipus. His curse is the definition of you can't escape fate, no matter how hard you try. The oracle at Delphi told his parents, King Laius and Queen Jocasta of Thebes, that their
Mm.
newborn son would one day kill his father and marry his mother. Yikes.
The fuck? Yo, niggas had too much time back in the day. Cause what the fuck?
So, naturally, they tried to cheat fate by abandoning baby Oedipus on a mountainside. But instead of dying, the baby was rescued and
Hey, y'all keep it a buck. If somebody told you that's the fate that's gonna happen, are you killing that baby? Keep it a buck. I know some of y'all probably gonna say yes.
raised by another royal family. Fast forward, Oedipus grows up, hears a similar prophecy, and, thinking his adoptive parents are the targets, runs away to avoid disaster. Noble effort. Except, fate had other plans. On the road, he gets into an argument with an older man and kills him, not knowing it's his real father. Later, he saves Thebes from the Sphinx and is rewarded with the throne and the queen's hand in marriage. Yep, that queen was Jocasta, his actual mom. The curse
What
came
the
full circle.
fuck?
When the truth finally came out, Jocasta hanged herself, and Oedipus blinded himself in horror.
Okay, that's a justifiable reaction. Cause what the fuck?
Moral of the story? Don't try to outrun fate. It's faster than you. The Curse of Oedipus is so famous, it even gave us the modern psychological term Oedipus complex. But beyond Freud turning it into
What is the Oedipus complex? Killing your family and marrying the rest of your family? The fuck?
psychobabble, the original story is pure Greek tragedy. A guy cursed to do the exact thing he spent his whole life trying to avoid. The
Mm,
gods weren't messing around. They basically said, you can take all the detours you want, but you'll still end up right where we told you.
mm-hmm.
And Oedipus's downfall became a timeless warning about pride, denial, and how life sometimes feels like a really dark cosmic prank. The Curse of the Pharaohs. Ever heard of the mummy's curse? This one
Yep.
comes straight from Egyptian legend and archaeology gossip. For centuries, locals believed disturbing the tombs of the pharaohs would bring misfortune.
That's why anytime I see some shit like that, if I was ever near a tomb, I ain't touching that shit, and I'm asking for forgiveness, nigga. Don't haunt me, nigga. I got too much shit going on.
Sickness or death. The idea wasn't random. Ancient Egyptians literally carved warnings into tombs. Death will slay with the wings of speed he who disturbs the pharaoh's rest. That's not exactly a subtle do not enter sign. The
Uh-huh.
legend really blew up in the 1920s when Howard Carter and his team discovered King Tutankhamun's tomb. Not long after, people connected to the dig began dropping dead in mysterious ways. Lord
I
Carnarvon,
wonder
the
why.
expedition's financier, died from an infected mosquito bite, and newspapers ran.
I don't know if you could blame that one on the pharaohs. You know, this is a white man in, Egypt, so he dead ass could have just got like malaria.
The expedition's financier, died from an infected mosquito bite, and newspapers ran wild with the story of the pharaoh's wrath. Suddenly, the curse of the pharaohs was front-page news around the world. Never mind that
Yeah, in Detroit. Yeah, he might have just
Most
been
of the team lived long
caught
lives.
my
The
like
spooky
malaria or some
coincidences
shit.
were enough to make people believe. The curse idea worked perfectly because it tapped into human fears, greed, death, and disrespecting the past. Imagine prying open a tomb sealed for thousands of years, with walls covered in hieroglyphs basically screaming, "Turn back!" Whether or not the curse is real, the idea of ancient kings reaching across time to punish grave robbers is too good to.
You shouldn't be trying to or wanting to disrespect dead graves in the first place, regardless of if it's cursed or not, or like if it's a tomb of a king or a regular person. You shouldn't just be wanting to disrespect graves like that.
Ignore. And honestly, the Egyptians would have loved knowing their warnings still give people goosebumps millennia later.
Like,
The
that shit
Curse
had
of
me terrified.
Atreus. If Greek mythology were a TV show, the House of Atreus would be the darkest, bloodiest soap opera ever made. Forget
Mm.
Family Feuds. This was an entire dynasty doomed by one horrible curse. It all started when Atreus' father, King Pelops, cheated in a chariot race by bribing a charioteer. To cover it up, he murdered the poor guy. On his deathbed, the
Damn.
victim cursed Pelops and his entire bloodline. And boy, did that curse deliver. Atreus himself feuded with his brother Thyestes over the throne of Mycenae. To get revenge, Atreus invited Thyestes to a banquet and served him a stew made from his own children. Yes, you heard that right. He literally fed his brother his kids. That
What
act of
the
horror
fuck?
locked the family into an endless cycle of blood, betrayal, and doom.
The
Generations
fuck?
later, Agamemnon, Atreus' son, sacrificed his own daughter to win favorable winds for the Trojan War. When he came home, his wife Clytemnestra killed him in the bath. Then their son Orestes killed his mother in revenge, only to be haunted by the Furies. And it just kept spiraling. The
The
Curse of
niggas got
Atreus is like
too
the
much.
ultimate don't mess with destiny warning. Every single person in that bloodline was doomed to suffer for the sins of their ancestors. It's messy, tragic, and kind of hard to keep track of without a family tree chart. But the point is clear. One bad act can poison generations.
I'm not gonna lie, that shit was confusing. So one nigga died, you feed him his kids, he takes a throne, you sacrifice your own daughter to win a war. The wife kills. It's like, what the fuck?
The Greeks loved this kind of drama. It made your family's cursed the most terrifying insult you could throw at someone. The Curse of Medusa. Everyone knows Medusa as the snake-haired lady who could turn people into stone with one glare.
I'm just saying, we never know if Medusa was really ugly or not. She might have been a bad bitch. I'm just keeping the buck. A nigga like me, I'm taking that risk. If there was a way to undo the stone, I'm taking that risk.
But her story is actually one giant curse. She wasn't always a monster. In the beginning, Medusa was a beautiful mortal woman who served as a priestess in Athena's temple. Unfortunately, she caught the eye of Poseidon, the god of the sea. The two had an
Mm-mm.
encounter inside Athena's sacred temple, and Athena was not happy about it. Instead of punishing Poseidon, because apparently gods get free passes, Athena unleashed her fury on Medusa. She transformed her into the terrifying creature we know today. Snakes for hair, eyes that petrify, and basically the ultimate stay-away face. The curse doomed Medusa to a lonely life. Everyone who looked at her turned to stone, so making friends was kind of impossible.
I'm just saying, if there was a way to undo the stoning, I don't know, man. Shit, it would have stopped my game.
She became the most feared figure in Greek mythology, living on the edges of the world in exile. But her curse didn't end there. Perseus, sent on a hero's quest, eventually killed her by using a mirrored shield to avoid her deadly gaze. Even in death, her
Damn.
curse carried on. Her severed head kept its stone-turning power and was mounted on Athena's shield. Imagine being cursed so hard that even your corpse is dangerous. What makes
Damn.
Medusa's curse so striking is how unfair it feels. She went from admired priestess to cursed monster, punished for something beyond her control. Some modern takes even see her as a tragic symbol of injustice. But in the myths, she was pure nightmare fuel, a walking, hissing curse whose only real crime was angering the wrong goddess. If curses were punishments, Medusa's was the ultimate overkill. The Curse of Pandora's Box. Ah, Pandora, the
This probably the most famous one.
first woman in Greek mythology, and the unfortunate star of one of the most famous curses of all time. The gods crafted her as part of a revenge plan. See, Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to humans, and Zeus wasn't about to let that slide. So the gods created Pandora, gave her a mysterious jar, later mistranslated as a box, and told her never to open it. which of course guaranteed she was going to open it. When Pandora finally lifted the lid, out flew every terrible thing humanity now suffers. Disease, greed, pain, jealousy, you name it. In other words, she unleashed all the curses that make human life miserable. By the time she slammed the lid shut, only one thing was left inside: hope. Talk about mixed signals. On the one hand, thanks to Pandora, people got sickness, war, and heartbreak. On the other hand, they got hope to keep going despite all that. It's like Zeus cursed humanity, but gave us a tiny consolation prize so we wouldn't completely lose our minds. Pandora's curse is one of those myths that never gets old because it explains why life feels like a constant struggle. It also has that universal "don't push the red button" vibe. If someone says "don't open this," you're 100% going to open it. The myth stuck for thousands of years because it's both terrifying and relatable. After
Shit, it's still around to this day.
all, who hasn't been curious enough to unleash trouble, only to regret it instantly?
Shit,
Pandora
me.
just happened to do it on a cosmic scale. That's the end of this myth.
But that was, every forbidden curse explained. Tell me what you're thinking down below.
You don't own my soul. Get your hands off of me. Wanna rest my bones when I am free. You can't control my heart. Bones when I am free. You don't own my soul. Get your hands off of me. Wanna rest my bones when I am free. You can't control